The amendments of the local government law by the Martin Amehule-led River State Assembly to extend the tenure of council chairmen if no elections are held before the end of their term is eliciting comments. While speaking on this, a lawyer, Kennedy Allen Wakama, says the Constitution does not recognize the Martin Amehule-led House of Assembly members as lawmakers in the River State Assembly, where Dr. Allen Wakama spoke to our correspondent.
The settlement brokered by the president does not derogate the law to the effect that as they decamp, they will go back and resubmit themselves to the electorate for another election. But they are still parading themselves as members of the House. You cannot put an illegality upon an illegality and you expect it to stand. They are doing their best. It's in breach of the decisions of the highest court of the land. If they want to still belong there, the INEC will call for another election. They submit themselves again to the electorate for the election.
But Dr. Allen Wakama believes that the motives behind the law is still unknown.
Law should not be made at the whims and caprices of the parties. They make laws to suit their whims and caprices. That is not the essence of lawmaking. Laws should be made to serve the interest of the generality of the society, not to suit certain specific agenda, as it is the case in River State presently. They are only there to make laws. The executive performs executive functions. They execute the laws. So you cannot also expect them to make the laws and execute the laws. So with respect, even the laws they are making cannot also stand.
However, political scientist Obin Nawadi says it is the constitutional right of the lawmakers to regulate the activities of the local government. Dr. Nwadi, a lecturer in the Department of Political and Administrative Studies, University of Port Harcourt, tells our correspondents that the aim of the lawmakers is to avert constitutional crisis.
What they have done is actually a move to avert constitutional problems in the state. The Constitution allows and gives the River State House of Assembly the right to regulate the activities of local government, or the executive also has power, but they also do that through the River State House of Assembly. So what they have done is to prevent a situation in which, at the expiration of the current local government executives, there will be a vacuum, and you know that caretaker committees are not known to the law.
But Dr. Nwadi said regardless of any motive behind the action of the lawmakers, the rule of law should be obeyed.
There could be motives, but we are looking at it with regards to the generality of the interests of Rivers people. Whatever motives there are, what we are saying is that there shouldn't be a situation in which, when the tenure of these current local government executives elapses, that there will be a vacuum that would create a situation in which caretaker committees will be appointed. When you talk about motives therein, all Rivers people are looking for is actually the rule of law at play.
Well, the political scientist advised Governor Fubara to speed up the process of conducting local government elections. Well, yesterday, the Martin Amehule-led River State House of Assembly again amended the state's local government law to extend the tenure of elected local government chairmen and councillors if elections are not held before the end of their tenures. In other news, the president of the Students' Union Government, Ignatius Ajuru University, Moses Gbara, has warned students against cult activities. Mr. Gbara's warning comes after one person was reportedly injured from machete cuts sustained during a cult clash. Well, the SUG president tells our correspondent that the clash, which happened around the SUG secretariat yesterday, was brought under control by the security details attached to the vice chancellor.
They came in and they were causing nuisance around the school. People from outside and inside, everywhere. Then I have to rush down to the school CSO to call him to let him know that this is what I'm seeing over here. He came and with his team to the SU Secretariat around the Ferris Bar where the boys are seated. The Vice Chancellor, in his own kindness, sent his own personal security guide. I think the police officers shoot on her just to scare them away.
Well, some of the students expressed concerns about the safety of students during the school's matriculation this Saturday.
The school is unusually quiet and students are no longer walking around at the area where the shooting was, and also at the auditorium side, reaching the science village side.
When I was coming to school, there were securities at the gate to make sure that the environment is safe. There were not much students today because it has already created an effect of fear in them.
They closed the front gates and then they made the car before you enter inside the school this morning. If you are with the minibus, you're not allowed to, even the small bus, so before you enter inside, they must check your boots. Come on, let me see where you're still. Are you a student?
There's no casualty attached to this, but some people sustained injuries.
Our correspondent observed heavy security at the main gate of the university today. President Bola Tinubu has written to the House of Representatives seeking consideration on the student loan bill. Well, this was contained in a letter transmitted by the president to the legislators and read by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas during plenary today. Well, the House promised to give the bill quick consideration. Meanwhile, in the Senate, the bill has passed second reading. Still to come, experts speak as World Marks Kidney Day. Stay tuned.
Special government announcement. The Greater Port Harcourt City Development Authority wishes to inform all corporate and private individuals who were allotted land for development in the Phase 1 area of the new city between 2
Today appointed Dr. Temitope Ilori as the new Director General of the National Agency for the Control of AIDS. The head of Public Relations and Protocol of the agency, Toyin Aderigbibe, made this known today, where Dr. Ilori is the first female to be appointed the Director General of the agency. Today is World Kidney Day, and the Professor of Medicine and Nephrology, University of Port Harcourt's Teaching Hospital, Pedro Chioma, has urged residents to reduce their intake of herbal medicines and salt to prevent kidney diseases. Well, Professor Chioma, in an interview with our correspondent, said over 850 million persons globally have kidney diseases and over 3.1 million die of kidney diseases yearly.
The common causes are generally hypertension, kidney inflammation, and diabetes. And even within our communities, where people use a lot of herbal remedies and drugs that they purchase from chemist shops, which includes painkillers and all that, this also contributes to kidney diseases. Common drugs like diclofenac, indomethacin, piroxicam, common drugs that are used for pain, especially for arthritis, they are out there and people consume them without knowing they have hazard they can cause to their kidneys when they are not supervised while using them. High salt intake and also affects hypertension, and which will cause kidney disease. So also advise people to begin to curtail the amount of salt that they consume on a daily basis.
Well, Professor Chioma also urged people to drink more water for a healthy kidney.
Between 2.5 to 3 liters of water a day should suffice. But again, you have to look at the ambient temperature of the environment. So during the hot seasons, when we are bound to sweat more, it means we need to take in more. If you check during the wet seasons, you discover that it won't be so thirsty. So our need for water might not be as much as we will have during the dry season. But water is something that is very vital. So,
on her part, a consultant pediatrician nephrologist at UPTH, Ifoma Anochie, advised pregnant women and nursing mothers to be cautious in their medication choices to reduce the risk factors associated with kidney disease in children.
There are many things that could predispose children, both unborn and born. Some things we call congenital problem, which is what happens in the womb. And so, pregnant women to know what to do when pregnant to avoid some of these risks occurring in children. And then thereafter delivery. So, in the prenatal period, the drugs they take in pregnancy can lead to not going for antenatal, delivering in with people that are not experienced will cause birth asphyxia that will affect the kidneys. Are an essential organ removing waste.
Well, the theme for this year's World Kidney Day is Kidney Health for All. And on the international scene, at least 60 migrants have died after a rubber dinghy ran into trouble in the Mediterranean Sea. Well, the 25 survivors were picked up by a vessel operated by the humanitarian group. Well, some survivors said the engine of the dinghy broke down after 3 days, leaving the boat adrift without food or water. The survivors said that the victims included women and at least one child. And that's the news this evening. But before we go, let's take a look at the highlights. On the news this evening, you heard that more reactions are trailing the amendment of the local government law, and some students of Ignatius Ajuru University are concerned over insecurity ahead of the school's matriculation ceremony. Today is World Kidney Day. On the foreign scene, 60 migrants have died after their boat developed a fault in the Mediterranean Sea. The news was edited by Onyeka Chinwosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I am Constance Mega. Thank you so much for listening. Good evening.